Welcome back to episode 20, AI, Technology and Mental Health, how disconnection is rewired into our nervous systems. I am Tracy Gantlin-Monroy, your host, and I am delighted to be here with you with this offering. And we're going to unpack this a little bit. And so, with that, today we're exploring a topic that's shaping our bodies, our relationships, and our very sense of being: AI, technology, and mental health. And I've been saying for some time to my colleagues in my trainings and my workshops, in my retreats and intensives. This AI thing has really shook many clinicians. But here's the reality: we're living in a world of instant connection and deep disconnection at the same time. Our nervous systems are absorbing it all, every spit of it, every ping, every scroll, every algorithm that tells us who we should be. But the reality is, AI and technology in no way could ever replace or stand in the stead of humanity, of human connection. Technology does not have a nervous system. It can literally only respond to the query that you give it. And even right now, we're faced with even self-deletion, where people have made this attempt to create a therapeutic alliance with AI, and it's just not possible. Absolutely. AI cannot register if it's sitting with someone who's at homeostasis, or if they're even sitting with someone who has found a sense of relief as they have come to the decision to self-delete. We see it on the news. We're hearing the stories. There's talks around regulating AI. We literally have families reporting that as they go through the belongings and the possessions of loved ones, that these people that self-deleted were in dialogue with AI. So when we speak about this idea of our sense of being and the shaping that's happening, that's what our time is about today. And I just want to give a reflective invitation. What does your body feel like after a day online? Are you grounded? Or are you scattered across 10 open tabs of your life? And for real, how much of it is actual? Or how much of it is futuristic? Or how much of it is how you would love to show up and to be? Because the fact of the matter is, that takes a sense of self, yeah, and sometimes others, because we're in such a space right now globally where we really need connection. Welcome back to Beyond the Spot, decolonizing healing one brain at a time. And I am honored to be your host as a licensed professional counselor, spiritual healer, and the first Black female brain spotting trainer in the world. Beyond the Spot, decolonizing healing one brain at a time, is a podcast that weaves my first love, of course, brain spotting, and somatic informed modalities with embodied healing cultural consciousness, and real talk about trauma, resilience, and recovery. Hosted by Tracy Gantlin-Monroy, a licensed professional counselor, spiritual healer, and the first Black female brain spotting trainer in the world. Each episode dares to dismantle mental health myths, uplift lived experiences, and restore collective wisdom. One conversation at a time. Beyond the Spot podcast is for educational purposes and is not therapy. Please reach out to licensed medical and mental health professionals. Thank you. I want to start right here today because this is a necessary conversation. Even as I think about the nervous system in the digital age, technology has rewired how we connect, but not how our biology works. The nervous system hasn't evolved to process constant stimulation, endless comparison, or the lack of embodied presence. We are meant to co regulate face to face, body to body, system to system through voice, tone, breath, and proximity. That even shows up virtually because I know a lot of clinicians, especially at the beginning of COVID, were concerned about the shutdown and needing to sit with clients and patients virtually. Realty, embodiment transcends all of that. Resonance transcends all of that because your system, we're all energy, we're bodies of energy. And so even when we're working virtually, we're still having connection. The problem becomes when you put yourself in that space where you're trying to interact with AI in that way. But digital life offers the illusion of closeness without the safety of resonance. Catch that. The body can't tell a like from love or a notification from nurture. And just an invitation here, because I always want to invite tracking along with where I'm coming from the sacred text of your nervous system, from your knowing, and what that is for you. Okay? After scrolling, do you feel more connected or more alone? Because we already know there is a loneliness epidemic. True tea. There's a historical context here dealing with technology power in the human nervous system. Technology didn't begin as neutral. It began as control. Even when we talk about the Industrial Revolution, whereby replaced craftsmanship and rhythm with machinery and time clocks. The human nervous system became a cog in a system of production. That's where we kind of went to a place of quantity versus quality. And how about colonialism and scientific racism that used technology to categorize and control bodies? Skulls being measured, behaviors pathologized. And this one, humanity ranked. Picture that. Imagine that. It's a real thing. Do y'all remember back when the Apple phones could not register with melanated skin to open them up? Or how about even when Chat GPT came out and there were people reporting the information they were receiving was more than offensive. See, all this stuff is programmed by somebody. And when representation and diversity is not at the table, who's programming this stuff? See, this becomes social justice in and of itself because if representation truly doesn't matter, representative of, people in those spaces, then where is the information to come from? Assumptions from people who have no idea, people that culturally appropriate, people that mock, people that pathologize the essence of who different than me show up as, whereby these folks are othered. Yeah. And even when we talk about digital surveillance, that continues that legacy. Algorithms learning biases, policing digital spaces, commodifying our attention and emotions. Yeah, even if you speak about something you'd like to purchase, and here it is showing up in your algorithm. I wonder how they know that. Y'all better figure out and catch one of those videos of how to turn off your surveillance in your phone that comes already programmed to do that when you purchase a new phone. Technology carries the DNA of the empire, that speed, extraction, that hierarchy. Real talk. And when technology is built without awareness, it inherits the nervous system of oppression in and of itself. Fast, reactive, disconnected from the body. It becomes a perpetuation of what's already dishonesty, supremacy, and all the things. Trek along with me. Where does speed show up in your nervous system? How do you know when technology is using you instead of serving you? Because let's be clear, there is this illusion of connection. Let's talk about the illusion of connection. We are more connected than ever and lonelier than ever. Two things can be true at the same time. Digital culture rewards performance, not presence. I can't even tell you, oh my goodness, the grace, the gift, the honor, the humility I feel to be allowed and given an opportunity in my position as a licensed mental health clinician, along with being a brain spotting trainer, the first Black female ever, and being up close, being able to witness, being able to hold, being able to support people that are deprogramming and dropping down in their bodies and noticing their intuitive quotients, which are fueled by our ability to have embodiment and resonance. Yeah, I often talk about brain spotting because it's been revolutionary in my life towards my own healing and witnessing even that process when new clinicians, helping professionals, body workers, because you don't have to be licensed to learn brain spotting. But I got to tell you, to just notice that process in the 3-day time that we have together. Yeah. And there's something to be said about how digital culture rewards performance and not presence, because presence is so required and necessary for us all, even in our own humanness, okay? But our bodies don't know the difference when we curate identities, when we chase algorithms and call it connection. Heart rates rise when we read conflict online. We've all witnessed YouTube beefs. Uh huh. Dopamine spikes and crashes after notifications. The eye strain and jaw clenching mirror fight or flight readiness. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're prone to grinding, your jaws, your mandibles, even the movement of that can indicate the idea of anger. Yeah, because it's actually having an attempt to release stress that oftentimes can show up as anger or even rage. We scroll for resonance but get reactivity. We reach for community but find commentary. We long for connection but drown in content. Just a reflective invitation. When was the last time your nervous system felt nourished? Not by information, but by presence. That's something to kind of check in with and to notice. And then there's this, because in every community, there is a separation, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Let's talk about technology, AI, and the BIPOC or persons of color experience. When I talk about BIPOC, I'm coming from a Black, Indigenous persons of color. POC, by persons of color, um, has to do with POC, persons of color, which I kind of prefer because BIPOC just kind of leaves so many faceless people for me. And even though when I talk about BIPOC, it's counter space, but at the same time, even when it comes to the marginalization of persons of color, I'm always seeking ways to make that even more inclusive. Because AI doesn't just reflect society, it amplifies its biases. Facial recognition errors, misidentified Black and brown faces. I just talked about that, leading to real harm. That was a big deal when people started to notice that with their Apple equipment and other equipment. How about hiring algorithms that favor whiteness coded language and Western professionalism? Yeah. Let's talk about cultural erasure happens when AI systems are trained on data that excludes our stories, our languages, our ways of knowing and being. When technology is trained without diversity, it becomes a mirror that doesn't see us. It tells us that efficiency is more important than empathy. That speed is more important than safety. And many clinicians do that in sessions. Slow down. Go slow to go fast. Notice your own internal coherency and consistency. What is that vibration like in your sense of self? When clients come up against something that's really activating for them, when trauma shows up on the scene, and because oftentimes as clinicians, our own work has not been done. So then we have that limbic countertransference and we react to it by shutting it down for the client. But healing truly happens at the speed of safety, not the speed of code. How do you reclaim your humanity inside a system designed for speed, not soul? There's a difference because this idea, when I talk about embodiment as resistance, it truly does have a value. Technology isn't evil, it's just incomplete. It's not expansive enough. It's not inclusive enough. That question isn't whether we use it, but how we relate to it by front loading with the information as to put it in the proper perspective. Embodiment is resistance. Every deep breath, every pause, every moment of eye contact interrupts the algorithm. Every time you choose presence over performance, you remind your nervous system that you are more than data. How do you create tech boundaries that honor your nervous system? When was the last time you gave your body permission to unplug and simply be? AI and technology aren't going away, people. But how we engage with them, how we reclaim our humanity in a digital world will absolutely determine whether we become more connected or more controlled. You get to choose. The nervous system needs rhythm, not reaction. It needs resonance, not reach. And it needs rest, not more relevance. What can you slow down enough to listen to your body before you reach for your phone? What parts of your nervous system have forgotten that presence is possible and necessary? It's imperative. How can technology become a tool of healing instead of a trigger for survival? Because the future isn't artificial, it's embodied. And I want to lovingly invite and welcome you to all of you. Thank you for sharing your time today with me and listening. And I hope that some small part of anything I shared sparks something in you that encapsulates that journey inwardly to thine own self, because so many of us are living in highly dissociative states and we don't even know it. I am Tracy Gantlin-Monroy. Thank you for listening. And please like, comment, and share. Just know that I appreciate you and all that you bring. If today's episode resonated with your nervous system or your spirit, share it with someone who's still unlearning and reach out to me. My website is gracecommunitycounseling.com. You can reach me on Instagram at Monroy LPC. That is MONROY LPC. Also, I have offerings from retreats to brain spotting trainings to workshops, you name it. And I am also a speaker. So if you ever need a speaker with my skill set, look me up, give me a call. Let's see what can happen. And absolutely for you clinicians and adjacent body healers, feel free to reach out and attend a brain spotting training. We have trainings all the time. Thank you.